Hello and welcome to the Nikolai's genetics lessons. Personally, I don't like mathematics too much, but I do like that part of mathematics, I mean law of probability statistics that applies to genetics, and today's one of the such problems. And today's problem is Gina's brother Joe died of rare X-linked recessive disease that caused severe birth defects. Gina just married to Albert, who lost a brother to the same disease. And here's the three questions, and I recommend you to stop video here, try to solve each question on your own first, and when you would be ready, you can run video again and you can compare your answer with my answer and explanation. So the first question is, what is the probability that Gina is a carrier? And in order to answer this question, we have to build a pedigree. So here is a circle. We use circle for females, and we use arrow sign to show for whom this pedigree is built, for which person we do all the calculations. And today we do it for Gina, and Gina had a brother who died, so we cross out her brother, and of course they had parents, so once again circle for her mother and square for her father, and we connect them as parents and connect them to their children. And of course the genotype of the mother would be XX, genotype of her father would be XY, genotype of her brother would be also XY, and Gina's genotype would be XX. We know that her brother died from this genetic disorder. It is recessive genetic disorder. It is X-linked, so we can use different color to show that he got defective X chromosome, and of course he got this Y chromosome from his father, and he got also X chromosome from his mother. That means that his mother must be a carrier. So we know now that he got one of X chromosome that defective from her mother, and because males are hemizygous, meaning they have only one X chromosome that doesn't balance with another X chromosome as we see in females, so females may have a recessive genetic disorder on the one of the X chromosome because they have another X chromosome with normal gene that produce normal protein, but males have only one X chromosome, and if gene is important and if it is defective, we don't have another X chromosome with normal gene to balance it, to produce normal protein. So males are said to be hemizygous, and even recessive genetic disorder in males behave as dominant genetic disorder. So now we know genotype of her brother Joy. We know that genotype of her father is normal, and now we know that Gina's mother is carrier. And we also know that Gina got X chromosome from her father, one of the X chromosome, and another X chromosome from her mother. But we don't know whether it is this normal X chromosome or this defective X chromosome. It can be any of this. She doesn't express this genetic disorder, but she still can be a carrier, or she can be 100% healthy person, and we don't know. So what we can suggest is just probability. We can say that her chances to be a carrier would be 1/2. or 50%. And this is going to be our answer to the first question: what is the probability that Gina is a carrier? And the answer would be the chances is 50%. Second question: what is the probability that Albert is a carrier? And now we talk about her husband. So Gina married to Albert, who had a brother who also died from this genetic disorder. And as you see, Albert should be 100% normal because his genotype as a male also XY, and if he would have this defective X chromosome, as in this example, he would die. His brother died, but his genotype should be normal because this is severe. This genetic disorder causes severe birth defects. So we can answer this second question that the probability that Albert is a carrier is 0%. And the next question: what is the probability that Gina and Albert's first child will be affected? And this is probably most interesting question here because it's relatively easy to answer the first two questions, but here the last one would be a little bit tricky. So in order to show you how to solve this last question, let me build a Punnett square. So we know that Albert has X normal and Y normal chromosomes, and this is sign for male. And this side of the Punnett square would be female. And let's assume that female would be a carrier, so she would have one normal X chromosome and one defective. Of course, not the whole chromosome is defective, only one gene on that chromosome. So when we build a Punnett square, we can predict probabilities for their children also to get this genetic disorder or to be a carriers. So here we will have one normal genotype for female, XX. Here we have one normal genotype and phenotype for male. And here we have female who is going to be a carrier. And here we have a male who is going to express this genetic disorder. So, as you see, 3/4 of the children probability that they wouldn't be affected with this genetic disorder, and 1/4 that the children would be affected. Or, in other words, we can say that chances for female children would be 0% to get this genetic disorder or to express this genetic disorder, and as for the males, chances are 50% that 50% of the males would express this genetic disorder. So now we can return to our calculations, and the first question that we have to ask ourselves: what is the probability that Gina is a carrier? According to our pedigree, her probability to be a carrier is 50%, or 1/2. And the second question that we have to ask ourselves: what is the probability that they would have their first child to be a boy? Because as we know, females doesn't express this genetic disorder. Females are not affected, and the question is: what is the probability that Gina and Albert's first child will be affected? Females are not affected, males are affected. So, what is the probability that the first child would be a male. Once again, 50%. So 1/2 of their children would be male. And the last question that we have to ask ourselves, what are the chances that if they would have a male boy, what are the chances that he is going to express this genetic disorder? And as you see, half of the male children would express this genetic disorder. So 1/2. So as you see, we have 3 independent probabilities. That means that we have to multiply them, and our final answer would be that the probability would be 1/8. And this is going to be our answer today. Thank you for your attention. Please subscribe for my new videos that I post almost every day. Thumbs up if you like this video. Please write your comments, questions if you have any. And see you in the next video. Goodbye.